2000 was a very memorable year. It brought on a new century, and it was very exciting for people to see what the future was going to bring. I was born on May 30th, 2000. It's very interesting to look back at events that happened while the year I was born. When I was born, Bill Clinton was in office. The following November was a new re-election for the presidential election. It was between Al Gore and George W. Bush. Obviously, George W. Bush won because we can look back and see that. Vladimir Putin was also getting sworn into office in the time that I was born. He was sworn in on May 7th, 2000. He is still currently the Russian president today. I did not know that he was president for 19 years, so it's crazy to think that in the time I've been born, he's been president of Russia the whole time. On May 14th, hundreds of thousands of people gathered down in Washington, D.C. They were protesting in hopes for stricter gun laws. 19 years later, and we are still struggling today, obviously, as there were 2 deadly shootings last week. Hopefully, eventually, we can find a way to eventually lift the gun laws and have stricter rules. It's quite disappointing looking back and seeing that 19 years ago we still struggled with the gun laws and there hasn't been anything done about it. On May 5th, 2000, the unemployment levels were under 4%. That was the first time it happened since 1970. So it was 30 years until the employment level was down 4%. It's crazy to think about because my father was born in 1970 and I was born in 2000. So his whole lifetime before I was born, the unemployment never went under 4%. So that's just an interesting way to think about it. The Kentucky Derby occurs in May, and in May 2000, it occurred on May 6th. It was the 126th annual race. The winner was Fushaki Pegasus, and he was an American Thoroughbred horse. Geocaching was released on May 3rd, 2000. It is an activity of hunting for a hidden object using GPS coordinates. I used to play it a lot in high school, and it was just a fun thing for my friends to go do, something different, and we get to go outdoors this way. I was surprised to see that it was released in 2000 because it was something we were using on our smartphones, and it just felt to me as if it was pretty far advanced for its time to be able to play that game using the GPS coordinates. Actually, the day before geocaching was released on May 2nd, Bill Clinton announced that GPS is no longer just for the US military. So in that day, geocaching was released to the public. So I thought that was interesting how fast it was able to come out and the public was able to enjoy the GPS coordinates and just the new wave. On May 10th, 2000, the population in India reached 1 billion. The billionth baby was named Asta Aurora. She was a girl. She was born in Delhi, and she is now 19 years old. So I just thought it was pretty crazy to think that the billionth baby in India was born pretty close to when I was. In the Netherlands on May 13th, 2000, there was an unfortunate explosion. A firework factory exploded. It killed 22 people and it wounded 950. It was a very tragic event. The estimated damage was around 450 million euros. 450 million euros translate out to about $590 million of damage in US dollars. So that is very expensive damage, and it was a very unfortunate event. In the music industry, in May of 2000, Maria Maria was the #1 song. It was a song created by the artist Santana. It was on the #1 Billboard Hot 100 for 10 weeks straight, and the month of May was in the middle of those 10 weeks. So the whole month of May, Maria Maria was the #1 song. On May 23rd, 2000, Detroit-based Eminem released an album. It is called the Marshall Mathers LP, and it was the fastest selling studio album of the year. So that was pretty cool that it was a week before I was born that Eminem and from Detroit, he released that album. So that was exciting to see. Along with Eminem, another popular artist, Britney Spears, released an album on May 16th, 2000. The album was called Oops, I Did It Again, which is one of her very popular songs, and I'm sure everybody has heard of it before. The 35th annual Academy of Country Music Awards was on May 30th, 2000, which was on the day I was born, so that's pretty cool. I wonder if my parents were watching it. It included people such as Faith Hill and Tim McGraw, so just very well-known country artists. Many movies were released in May. The two most common ones that I have seen and heard of before were Gladiators and Mission Impossible 2. Gladiator premiered on May 1st in Los Angeles. On my birthday, Mission Impossible 2 was released, and it was the #1 movie the day I was born. In May 2000, the average movie ticket cost $5.29. In sports, on May 26, 2000, the NHL Eastern Conference game occurred. It was the New Jersey Devils playing the Philadelphia Flyers. The Devils beat the Flyers 4-3, so all 7 games were part of that. Also, on May 1st, 2000, a baseball record was completed by Barry Bonds. He was the first player to hit a home run into the San Francisco Bay. So I cannot imagine how hard that baseball was hit. It's pretty crazy, and that'd be a pretty cool thing to be the first to accomplish. In celebrity news, in May of 2000, Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton got married. They got married on May 5th, 2000. They married in Las Vegas. In 2003, they did get divorced. On May 10th, 2000, the FDA did approve breast implants. They were not approved for 7 years before. Even though they were approved, there were still some proven health problems to come with getting the Celine implants. I find that pretty scary to know that and still get them, but they were released to the public. Prices compared from now to 2000 range quite differently. The loaf of bread would cost $1.72. The average monthly rent cost is $675. Stamp would cost about 33 cents, and a gallon of gas would cost $1.26. The average yearly income would be about $40,343. May was full of many different events and occurrences around the world, and it was very interesting to look back and see what happened when I was born. May of 2000 was just a very cool month to be born in. The year, just a new century, it's pretty cool, and it's always easy to track my birthday because it just goes with the years. Endless things are happening every day, and there's new events added to every single day, and just looking back at that, it's pretty impressive. Also, looking back at everything and just seeing how much the world has improved, it's very cool to see. So I thank you all for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed.